Okay, yeah, I understand that. So, alrighty, so we're going, oops, we're live streaming now. I am just waiting for, oops, I have to change hosting now. So, sorry, I've just got to, oops. I've just got to change our technical assistant. There he is. Hang on, I've got to, sorry, I'm kind of talking to myself and not talking to myself, so excuse me a moment. All right, I just have to make our TA a co-host. I'm doing that right now. I can't talk to you and do that at the same time. There we go. All right, done some formalities technical-wise, so that's okay. I almost forgot to do that. That's kind of important. Okay. So welcome for those of you who have just come in while I was messing around a little bit with my being unable to speak to you. Doris, Sabiha, yep. Oh, look at all these cameras on. This is so nice to see you all actually in person. So, all right. So Millie is from, now, what do you say? Pearland? Pearland, Texas?
South of Houston.
Okay, wonderful. Is it warm there? Probably.
Torrential rain, but yeah,
kind
of.
Yep. Is that a good thing for you right now? Do you need the rain?
We do need it, but the flooding is an interesting byproduct.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, I hope it's not too bad for you there. So, yeah, we had quite a bit of flooding here this year, not where I am, but further north in the country. So yeah, sometimes a bit of rain is good. Too much rain is not such a great thing often. Okay, so Jean Ann's doing a shout out to everyone from Alexandria, Virginia. Is there anyone else from there? Oh, there we go. Nelda, I think we're having a bit of feedback, but that's okay. No, you're muted now, so I know you're talking, I just can't hear you, but I know you're doing the best to connect into your computer, and that is fine. Feel free to have a little play around with that so you can come on board.
Yeah, I got it now. Thank you.
Oh, beautiful. There you go. Isn't it great how our computers have a way of turning themselves off or updating just when we want to use them? Mine does that all the time. I'm always in a bit of a panic. It's going to do that while I'm presenting here. All right, now, without speaking too much fluff before we begin, I have some things I need to share with you. So if you've seen this plenty of times before, bear with me, but just a little bit of an introduction. I'll be sharing my screen right now. So just to let you know, this is a free your feet class. So it's all about doing movements through and with our feet and through our lower body, and that will affect our entire body. So it's a simple movement class. It might not be easy, but it's simple, and they're moves to suit everybody. Now, a lot of the moves will be doing standing up. If that is not an option for you, you can do a lot of them seated. And just to let you know, I'll just have some tools. Actually, I'll share with you when I'm on a bigger screen again so you can see them better, things that we're going to be using. But just very quickly, a ball, something like a tennis ball. Key, so we need something small. I've also worked out that you could roll up a pair of socks or something and use those instead. If you don't have anything like a small ball handy, you don't want it to be too hard. You want it to be more on the soft side. I'm using a half dome. You can roll up a towel instead. Again, I'll show you that later. And something like a strap or a scarf or something similar. We'll be using it to put underneath our feet to pull them for a bit of a stretch. Oh, and a wall. So lots of tools today. So if you're already with me and they resonate and they're not too far away, you can go and grab them. Okay, let's move on with my slides. So this is me, for those of you who don't know me, and if you do know me, just a little bit of a refresher. I'm Natalie W. I am in Melbourne, Australia, which is why it is first thing in the morning here for me right now. I've been teaching some form of movement since 2001, which started off with a yoga teacher training, and it went on from there. I've done so many certifications, I can't count. They fill an entire page. But I just love learning, and I love sharing that learning with people such as yourselves. So one of my main aims in life right now is to help people like you become or stay independent and be able to move independently through the rest of your lives. And feet play a very big focus to that, right? The feet are like our foundations, like the foundations of your house. If something's going not so great through your feet, that will have an effect through the entire body. So that's why feet are a little bit of a passion of mine. I've done lots of workshops on keeping our feet healthy. A bit more housekeeping for those of you. Oops, there it is. Okay, from GetSetUp. So at GetSetUp, we learn from each other, and ideally you would have your camera on. That's a fantastic world. I can see what you're doing. You can see what each other are doing. If you don't understand something I'm doing, or maybe you can't see because I'm too far in the distance, you might be able to see that with somebody else's camera turned on. But if you are not okay with that, that's fine. I'm also okay with you not having your cameras on. Do what is best for you. If you enjoy this class and you want to practice the exercises more regularly, you're more than welcome to request a recording of the class. And to do that, all you need to do is email help@getsetup.io. So this class is being live streamed. It's on GetSetUp TV. So that's fantastic. It's a great way to have a look at it. But the best way to participate is to join us by registering for the class. And that way you're able to be here with your camera on or off. You're also welcome to ask questions. So I'm quite happy for you to unmute yourself at any time through the class and ask me a question. If you're not comfortable speaking live on the camera, you're welcome to type those questions in the chat box. And I have asked John, our technical assistant, to let me know that there's a question there or to also read them out. And that way I can help you out that way as best as I can. Right? GetSetUp are not paid to promote any specific product. So I will not be selling anything to you here. I'm trying to give you options of the tools and things that we may be using throughout the class. One final housekeeping comment is that please check with your doctor before starting any new exercise program. I am a movement professional. I'm not a medical professional. So if you do have anything medical going on in your body, please take the advice of your doctor or your physical therapist or somebody else qualified in the medical field. I'm giving you suggestions as to what to do. Alrighty, so that's it for my shared screen. Before we begin, are there any questions, anything that you might like to share or comment about before I start with the movement? Right. I'm on the bigger screen now, so I'm just once again going to show you, and if you came on after I've already said that, some tools that I'm going to be using. I'm going to back off a little bit. So important is a ball, right? So like a tennis ball, I have something called a yoga tune-up ball here, which is a nice rubbery ball. I can squash it, right? It's not solid. It's able to be squished. Again, if you don't have something like a small ball, right, I've worked out, get a pair of socks, whoops, roll them up together, and you can use that. We'll be standing on the ball quite a bit to start off with, well, towards the start of the session. I'm also using what I call a half foam roller, a half dome. I don't expect people to have one of these at home. So what I do is I just get a towel and I roll it on up, and I use that. If you have a mat, you can also roll up your mat. And it's just sort of like a roll shape, just something a little bit higher that we can play with putting our feet on for a calf stretch. And I'm also using a strap. So I'm pretty heavy on the equipment today. I realized this morning as I was getting it together. So something like this is a yoga strap. I also have a football scarf here. You can use something like a scarf. You could even use a t-shirt or just something that you can roll up that's going to go, right, somehow underneath your foot later on in the class. And a wall. We'll be using a wall as well. So sorry, that's loads of things. If you don't have anything similar, remotely similar or whatever, that's fine. We are going to start standing up. Pretty much everything can be done from a seated position. There may be more benefit, a little bit sort of more weight you can put on the ball and things by standing, but if that is not an option for you, you can do it seated. So that is an option as well. So let's come on up to standing. And what we want to do is get a sense of our feet. Right? For some reason, A lot of people don't like their feet. That's really weird. It's like they're like, oh, my feet are disgusting. I hear these kind of comments all the time. They're disgusting. I don't like them. I've got bunions. I've got this. I've got that. I've got the other thing. Right? They're very important. Right? Most of us have a couple of feet. Right? 2 feet. We use them to get around. Right? We walk around. We get from A to B on our feet. So it's really important that we do take some care of them. So maybe as you're standing, or if you're seated, if you can't be standing, take a look down. What do they look like? What do they feel like? And then maybe look back up again. Now, I've got my feet what we call hip width apart, right? So there's some space in between them, right? My hip bones are the, well, we call them our hip bones, front of our pelvis here. And if you roll your fingers to the inside of those bones, that's where your thigh bones meet your pelvis. They're your hip sockets, your hip joints. So if you can have your feet around about hip width apart, that's a really great start. If that's not okay, take your feet where it's best for you. What we want to do is notice how we carry our weight on our feet. So I like to do a simple lean forward, keeping my heels down, but now I'm pressing more through the front of my feet. And I'm going to lean back so the weight comes more back on my heels. Maybe the front of my feet get really light. Have a little play with that. Right, shift your weight forward and shift your weight back. Like a little bit of a rocking. Go forward. You feel the difference. When I go forward, I really grip my toes on the mat. When I go back, they start to lift off and get really light. I'll do that one more time. And then I want to end up sort of in the midpoint with more weight back on my heels. So I'm going to shift my weight back without leaning backwards. I'm trying to become nice and upright. I'm going to lift all 10 of my toes and spread them out nice and wide, and then press down through the balls of my feet. So just underneath the toes, right? The next part up on your foot from the toes. And then let my toes come back down onto the mat again. And what I'm looking for is a bit of a tripod, where I have weight underneath my big toe, right, the ball of my foot underneath the big toe, the little toe, and also my heel on both feet. So see if you can get a sense of that in both of your feet. Maybe you're noticing that one foot is taking more of your weight than the other foot. Maybe you're noticing that you're rolling onto the inside edge of your feet or the outside, or maybe one foot's more weight on the little toe side of the foot and the other foot is more weight on the big toe side of the foot. See if you can even that out a little bit. Right, what does that feel like? Can you feel really even? Do you feel a little bit taller maybe? And then from there, maybe a little bit of a bend in the knees. We're going to do a forward bend. Just do a forward bend as best you can. I can easily touch the floor. That's me. You might be way up here somewhere. That's okay. Come to wherever you can come to. This is just what we call a bit of a check-in tool. We want to see, right, how far down you can come towards the floor. Maybe I'm going to straighten my legs out. What does it feel like in this forward bend? What am I feeling in the backs of my legs? What am I feeling in my lower back? My arms maybe, right? Mainly the legs and your back. Can you file that away for later and then come on up to standing? And then once you've done that, we're going to stimulate our feet with that small ball that we have. So whatever you have, something small, something soft-ish, maybe not too soft. We want some stimulation. We're going to get that underneath one of our feet. The other foot can step back a little bit. You could hold onto a wall for balance, right? It's not a balance exercise. And we're simply going to step onto the ball. Did someone have a question? Or is it just a, and then we're going to step off the ball. And then we're going to move the ball a little bit and then step on it again. Now, I can take my full weight onto the ball because I'm used to this. That may not be possible for you, right? So if that's not possible for you, just shift a bit of weight onto the ball and then step back off again. So I'm moving the ball every time. I'm stepping on, stepping off, rolling a little bit somewhere else, stepping on again. Now, as you're doing this, right, we're trying to get underneath all of the foot, all the different places. And we could spend our hour just doing this. We're not going to. I'm kind of racing through it, right, pretty quickly-ish compared to, because it would take a lot of time to get all the bits of the foot. But if there are some parts and I find right in the middle of my foot here, there's more sensation, I get some really good feedback. If that's too painful, just put less weight on, or maybe avoid that particular spot and go around the edges of where you're getting all that feedback. Don't forget your heel. You want to step on your heel as well and off. Somewhere else. Right, so if it's not possible to stand, right, this can be done seated. You're just not able to put as much body weight onto it. You could be leaning forward as you're doing that. Stepping. Right, we'll do a few more of these. You could step right on. You could put a bit more velocity into it if that works. If you've been doing these for a while too, I mean, not necessarily now, maybe you have a recording, you can experiment with different types of balls that you're doing this with. Maybe they've got spikes on them. Maybe they've got not really not really prickly spikes. You can get some rounded spiky balls, different textures. All right, so that's the first one. The next exercise that we're going to do is have your heel on the floor, maneuver the ball so it comes underneath the ball of the foot, so just below the toes there, and step on the ball again. Now we're going to rotate the foot from side to side. We're going to take the foot one way and then the other way. So rolling one way and the other way. See, rolling from the big toe side of the foot to the little toe side of the foot. What I need is a cameraman here behind my camera to zoom in so you can see that a little bit better. So hopefully you can see enough to be able to do this. As I'm doing this, going from side to side, I'm trying to move the ball towards my heel. So I'm sliding my foot forward a little bit as I'm going from side to side with my foot. It's heading towards my heel. And my ball is falling apart on my mat. That's all right. Bits are shedding. I've had this one for quite a while. If you make it towards your heel, you could go back towards your toes. My mat is also rolling up on my carpet, which is fine. If you're finding this really tricky to maneuver, that's really normal at first. Over time, your foot will your whole foot, leg, your whole body will work out how to do this. Get more efficient at the movement. It's like everything. Yeah, so I'm working my way back towards my toes. And then once I've done that, I'm going to step off for a moment. And now, instead of side to side, we're going front to back, the length of the foot. So we're going to get the foot again, start underneath the big toe, step down and roll all the way out to the heel, bring it back and roll again. So I'm going from top to bottom or front to back, or whichever way you want to say that, rolling. Right? And again, right, if you're seated, it can be done, right? Pressure on your feet, rolling the ball. So we're going to be doing a lot of exercises, right? This is all foot focused today. If we do too much at any stage, right, if you feel anything coming up from this, you think, oh, I've overdone it, please just stop and rest. And you can either just watch the rest of the class or you can join us again when you feel okay. All right, I'm going to do 2 more. And then one final move here with the ball would be just random movements all over or all under my foot, I should say. All over the place. That's it. And release. Once you have done all of that or some of that on the one foot, come back again to just standing on both of your feet flat, and see if you've noticed any difference. between the foot that you just rolled and the other foot that you haven't rolled.
Yeah.
Right, so for me, I feel it's like it's widened a little bit on my mat, and I also feel more connected. Right? I feel like I'm getting some more feedback. It feels more connected. I can't think of a better word, down to my mat. Let's do all that on the other foot. So when you are ready, I'm going to straighten my mat out a little bit. We'll do it from the start on your other foot. So we're going to step onto the ball. It can be random. Much weight as feels good for you. Step off, move the ball, step on it again, and move off. And I'm pretty much going to do these exercises every week in this class because they're simple, but they're really effective. Okay. What we're doing here is we're trying to deform the foot, for want of a better word. Right? We have a quarter of our bones of our entire body in our feet, and our feet are pretty much designed like our hands. If you have a look at your hand while you're doing this, right, you've got these small bones and joints in your hand, and your hands are really maneuverable. Right? You can pick things up. You can do all sorts of things with your hands. Right? Your feet have as many bones and joints in them, and they're able to move around in very similar ways. Right? But the problem is, a lot of us have spent a lot of our lives in shoes or in other things that are sort of encasing our feet. It would be like wearing mittens on your hands your entire life, right? So we lose the ability to find all of that movement that we were born with, and then we can't do it anymore. So our aim here is to wake up our feet and get that movement back into them. Right, have we done about the same as we did on the other foot? Remember, you want to stand on your heel as well. Right, that might be a little bit less stable. Now, back to underneath the big toe, so with your heel on the floor, and the heel is on the floor for a little bit of support, right, to keep us steady. Right, push down as much as you can, and you're going from side to side. Big toe foot, big toe side of the foot to the little toe side of the foot. And as you do that, you're working your way with the ball towards your ankle, or your heel, I should say. Same thing, same area. Not the same thing, same part of the foot. Part of the foot. I'm really scratching up my mat while I'm doing this. And I'm trying to get more movement through. Right, my whole leg is moving. Right? I'm trying to get it more focused with my foot doing most of the movement rather than the entire leg. Can't stop that all from moving because it's all attached. And I'm not that dexterous yet. Within my ankle, we'll be playing with that soon. I'm just going to pop a little mute on just because it's getting a little bit of background noise. Cannot get my mouse to work. There we go. Okay, there we go. So once you've done that side to side, we're doing the length of the foot. So step on, roll the length. Right, and then again, from the toes to the heel. And just let me reiterate too, you're welcome to unmute yourself and ask a question if you have any questions as we go. So just muted everyone, just because sometimes we get a bit of background noise. Right, roll. I'm just sort of rolling a bit randomly. I've got to roll off my mat. I keep scrunching my mat up underneath my ball. Right, a couple more of these. And then random movements. You can do these slow, you can do them faster. Waking up the foot again, waking up the entire leg now. And once again, what we do for the feet has an effect on the entire body. Hopefully, I'll demonstrate that very, very shortly. Okay, let's step off the ball. Both feet planted again. check in. How are they feeling? They're feeling really nice and connected for me right now. Hopefully they feel similar. Do the forward bend again. Come on, do that forward bend. Do you recall the last time you did this forward bend, what you were feeling, what it was feeling like in your legs, in your back, in your feet? And now what does it feel like now? Right? Have you made a change? Right? Is it easier to bend forward? Is it not so easy? Right? Just see if you've discovered any differences or any similarities or no difference. Hopefully if you do have differences, they will be for the better. Right? We're going to come on back up again. And then we're going to do some other moves. Now, we're going to bring ourselves to a wall. I haven't got a solid wall here. I've got cubes, but I'm going to use them. We're going to be standing with our feet flat on the floor. Now we might have to play with this. You're going to put your hands on the wall and think like you're doing a push-up, but the intention is to be working through our heels. So our ankles. So your heels are down on the floor. You're going to lean your whole body weight forward, right, without your heels lifting off. And you want to kiss the wall, and then you're going to press on back again. Right, so we're shifting our body weight forward, keeping your heels down. That's what we call flexing at the ankles, and then go back again. Right, if you don't feel like you're getting enough movement, what happens a lot is your bottom goes out like this. See if you can let your hips sink towards the wall, and then press back again. Right, so you're leaning, kiss the wall, and come on back. Bonus is you're getting a bit of an arm workout. Let's do 3 more of these. And 2 and 1. And then while you're here with the benefit of the wall, let's do some heel raises. Lift your heels and lower them down. And lift and lower. Now, as you're doing this one, check out what it's like with your feet and ankles. If your ankles are wobbly, a great idea is to get your ball, put it in between your heels, and let me just try and show you that a little bit closer, right? In between your heels, this is a little bit small, right? And lift on up and lower. Can you see that? Not so great. Lift and lower, keeping the ball in between your heels. You can get something, maybe you get like a pillow or something, but something that's going to try to keep your ankles from wobbling. Right, over the place. If you're squeezing it inwardly with your feet, you'll have a little bit more stability through your ankles. Let's do a few more of these. We've done quite a lot. If it's too much, take a break. Lift. And 1. Okay. Step away from the wall, right? Next tool will be your dome or your towel, or just roll up your mat, whatever you have available to you, or nothing. You could even use your ball, right? We're going to do a calf stretch, right? The calf, just the back of the leg, just above the foot there. So we're standing up nice and tall. You're going to take the ball of your foot onto your dome, or whatever it is that you have a little bit higher, your heels down on the floor, and your leg is straight. That's your stretching leg. You want to see if you can remain upright in your body. If you're not feeling any sort of stretch there, you could step your other foot further forward until you do feel a sense of stretch in your calf. I'm just going to hold this for about a minute. So your stretching leg remains straight. That is the version where we bend the knee. So anything that you have at hand, anything that your heel can be on the floor, and the ball of your foot can be up a bit higher. So you can get that calf stretch here. That's all we need to be doing. When we spend our day in shoes that have heels, and even if it's a very small heel, whether it be one of those huge ones or a very small heel, we have a tendency to have the calves, the back of the leg there, the range of movement may get a bit limited by having the heel lifted. So now we're having the heel down and the toes lifted, which gives us this calf stretch. All right. It's 5 more seconds and that will be at least a minute. That's when I glanced at my clock when we started. All right, that's the one side. Let's do the same thing on the other leg. So same thing here. My ball of my foot is on my dome, my heel is on the floor, that leg is straight. Right, I've got my other foot back. Great, you might be getting a great stretch already from there. If not, the foot needs to step further forward, so you do. You might even be more forward, but I can't balance and I can't keep myself upright, right, without sticking my bottom out behind me to do it that way. But because I'm doing this stretch on a lot of, or in a lot of the classes that I'm doing on Get Set Up, I'm actually finding that I'm getting more range. I'm able to set this other foot further forward. So it's having a nice effect. I didn't glance at the clock when we started, but you need probably another 20 seconds or so. Wonder how you're feeling in your feet, in your legs, what's going on for you here. Another 5 seconds to hold this one. A plane flying overhead. A little bit usual these days. Okay, and then step off. All right, maybe have a little sort of walk around, maybe a little bit of a walk in place. And now we're going to do a top of the foot stretch. Right, it's the same sort of thing. Right, the toes may be curled up quite a lot in our shoes. We're now going to curl them under. Now, this is the action. We're going to take our foot, curl the toes under, so the top of your foot comes onto your mat or floor. Now, for some of us, this can be super painful, so it is best done in a chair, right, in a seated position. Just simply curl your toes under while most of your weight is on your seat, on your bottom, right? This will take a lot of pressure off the top of the foot, right? If you're standing, right, maybe foot a little bit more here. Maybe, if it's okay, you can step your foot further back. But what we want to do, have the toes curled under, and then you shift some of your weight back onto the top of your foot. Right, for some of us now, I've been doing this a lot. I can shift quite a bit of weight back onto my foot. Right, for a lot of people, they can't even curl their toes under. That's too painful. So you want to play with a position or as much as your body weight as it feels okay for you to be shifting your weight onto it. And we don't want to hold this one too long because, like I said, it can be super painful. If you're going, man, I don't feel anything, that's okay, right? You could go way further back and shift more of your weight onto it. Let's switch, right? Because it can be challenging. Curl your toes under. I remember this used to be super painful for me when I started doing it. So curl your toes under, shift some weight back onto your foot. Again, you could take it right off, you could sit down, or you could take your foot further back and shift more of your weight. I think become a bit unbalanced if I go back too far. Okay. Nice. Alrighty, we are going to step aside. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to come to a seated position. If you're comfortable sitting down on the floor, come and sit down on your mat. Right, we're going to be doing some movements of the foot from a seated position. If it's not okay, it can absolutely be done in a chair, in a seat. So basically you can have your foot down on the floor like this. You can have it up on a pillow or an ottoman or something like that. We're going to be moving the foot around. So find a position that you're comfortable in. We're going to have one leg extended. It can also be bent, whatever works for you. And from here, I'm trying to give you some contrast so you can see that a little bit better. So give you a moment to sit down. I've got some movement happening on the cameras. Again, a position that's okay for you. So sitting on a chair, sitting right down on your floor or propped up on a bolster or something. We are simply going to point our toes and scrunch them up. Try and scrunch them up together and then flex them and try and spread your toes apart. Right? Point and scrunch and flex and spread them apart. Point, scrunch up, flex and spread. Right? You're going to try and get some space in between the toes when you spread them out. So it's kind of like scrunching together. I'm showing you with my fingers a little bit closer, and then you're spreading them apart. Right, 2 more. Point and scrunch, flex and spread. Last one, flex and spread. Now we're going to try and do ankle circles, right? So the whole foot circling from your ankle. Circle it around in one direction. Remember these actions because we're going to put them together at the end in some brain training exercises. Go the other way. That's it, with ankle circles. What does that feel like? And then a little bit of flexion, and then pull your toes back towards you. And then just do like a windscreen wiper, side to side. Going to go one way on the diagonal and the other way. One way, other way. Okay, so that's 3 direction, point and flex, circles, and then side to side diagonal. We'll do that on the other foot. So just switch over legs in any position that works for you. Point your toes here, scrunch them together, flex them and try and spread them apart. Right, point and scrunch, flex and spread. Point and scrunch, flex and spread. Keep going. When you point and scrunch them, you might feel that your toe or your foot kind of cramps really easily. If that's the case, just sort of point more lightly. If you're not getting any cramping, try and scrunch them up as best you can and then spread and apart. More of those. And last one. Okay. And now we'll do some circles from your ankle one way. Let your whole foot rotate around. Right? Sometimes I feel some like really kind of clicking, crunching noises in my ankle. Other days it's fine. Today they both seem to be free of that. Go the other way. So just a thing here, foot exercises can be done every day. Right? You can do something, you might not want to do like a whole hour or 45 minutes or however long we'll be actually doing the exercises for, but maybe 5 or 10 minutes of rolling with your foot on the ball in some way, shape or form. That can be random. It doesn't even have to be structured. All right, now, little flexion, little like a windscreen wiper, side to side. All right, so your foot's doing this side to side, like a wave, right, with your foot. Honestly, I can't really isolate my foot and my whole leg is going from side to side. I'm doing the best I can. All right, side, 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 side. Okay, terrific. Now, okay, extra tool, your strap or your scarf or your t-shirt or whatever you have. If you're on your mat, come lying down. What we're going to do, if you're seated, I'll show you that in a moment. We're going to get whatever we have underneath the ball of your foot. See how it's underneath my toes? Now, if you don't have anything, if you don't have anything to put under your foot, you can do pretty much what we just did. You can stay seated. You can stay seated. What am I doing? Right. I think it's easier to lie down on the floor, right? But you can absolutely do it seated. Sorry about that. All right. I'm just used to doing it lying, right? Underneath the ball of your foot. And we're going to hold on with our hands and we're going to pull our foot back as you push your heel away. So this is our aim. And we're going to try and get our legs straight. All right. So maybe you start down low and you use your arms to pull your leg up. This is if you're on the floor, right? Like I said, sorry, you can do it seated. I'm so used to just doing it lying. Right? If you're in a chair, if you're seated as well, it's the same thing. the strap goes underneath the ball of your foot, and then you pulling, you're trying to straighten out your leg, and you're trying to pull the toes back towards you. Your heel is pushing away, right, and the ball of your foot is pulling back towards you. So it is now more of a, right, we call it a hamstring stretch. So from your foot all the way up the back of your leg. Right, so 3 main options really: sitting down here, sitting like this, or lying down. Now, if you're lying down, if you're pulling your leg in like this, do you see I can sort of do that, right? And my other leg lifts up off the floor and my lower back presses into the mat. See if you can do it so your other thigh, your hamstring, right, comes into contact with the floor, right? And that way it's the same sort of stretch, just getting into the fibers of the back of your leg a little bit differently. Now, once you're in that position, you can either hold it or you can use your hands on the strap. You can pull one side so you see the base of your foot to one side, and then you can pull so the little toe side of the foot comes in towards your body. Pull so the big toe side turns in towards your body, and pull with your other hand so the little toe side of the foot comes into your body. So your foot's doing a rotation again. Have a play now again, whether you're lying down here, whether you're sitting up, or whether you're on your chair. All of those can be done. You can just hold that stretch in your hamstrings. Totally up to you what works for you. But when I do this and hold it, I feel something all the way up my calf, all the way up the back of my leg. Right? But that's what I'm feeling. Can you just do a bit of a check-in with your body to see what you're feeling as you do this stretch? Okay. We've been here quite a while. I'm going to switch legs. So the other foot, once again, I'm going to stretch. You can also have this leg bent, but I'm going to stretch it out on the mat. I'm going to lower my leg and try and keep my right thigh on the mat. And then I'm going to straighten out my left leg. This is my left foot I have now in my strap. I'm going to pull my leg in towards me, without sort of trying to curl my tail under, trying to keep my tail down. But I'm pushing my heel away, pulling the ball of my foot towards my body. Okay. So like I said, it's working the back of my leg. It's also getting this what we call ankle flexion as well. And we want ankle flexion, right, as in the toes coming more towards your shin, because it helps us walk around, right? If we spend our lives like this, we'd be sort of going on tippy toes. We want to be able to get up and over our feet when we're walking. We want to be able to push off with the toes, but get the toes out of the way as we swing our leg forward as we're walking. Pretty important stuff. I'm not sure. You usually do the second side quicker than the first side, probably because there's a lot of explanation that's often given on the first side. So I want to just give you a little bit longer here. As you're holding it, oh, sorry, I haven't rotated from side to side, have I? Right? Pull, big toe side of the foot towards you, and then the little toe side. I'm thinking, why do I feel like I go over that talking so quickly? Because I haven't done a movement that I did on my other foot. Right, so I'm pulling with my right hand, my big toe side of my foot comes in towards my face, and I'm pulling more with the left hand. It's not so much movement that way. Okay, all right, so maybe that's about the same. I'm going to release, put the strap aside. Now, did I mention brain training before? So if you're on your mat and you're okay stretching your legs out, right, come into this position. If you're sitting, right, on your chair or even like this, right, we just want, if you can, both of your legs extended. If that's not possible, just do what you can with your feet. we're going to try and move our feet around, and we're going to play a little bit with our brains. So the actions are, we've done them already, but we'll do 2 feet together. Point your toes and flex them, and point and flex, and point and flex. Do a couple more of those. Right, that's one action, point and flex. Next action will be circles. Circles with your ankles. I'm going in one direction. I'm going to go the other way. I'm not doing too many because we've done these individually on each foot. And then finally, well, I call them windscreen wipers, so side to side. And you can do them both the same way. You can do one out and one in. So they're the 3 actions. How this becomes brain training is we're going to do one action on one foot and the other action on the other foot. So let's start. Right foot's going to point and flex, and your left foot's going to make some circles. I'm hoping I can do this. All right. It's like, you know, rubbing your tummy and patting your head. One foot, point and flex, and maybe don't watch what I'm doing. Maybe just do what I'm saying, right? Right foot's pointing and flexing. Left foot is doing circles. Okay, I'm sort of successful. Right, now I'm going to switch. I'm going to have my right foot doing circles and my left foot pointing and flexing. All right, I think I've got that one a bit better. I'm not sure. Sometimes I'm tricking myself thinking I'm doing it. I'm actually not if I see it. All right. Now, let's see if we can go right foot windscreen wipers, side to side, left foot circles. Okay, I'm not doing a very good job of that. So my right foot's going diagonally and my left foot, I'm trying to do circles at the same time. Kind of, sort of. I'm quite amused by this, but how not so great I'm doing it this one. All right, let's change. Left foot windscreen wipers, right foot circles. Even worse. Like I said, maybe don't do what I'm doing, do what I'm saying. All right, left foot's going diagonally, side to side. Right foot's going into circles. I know, with a little bit of time, I think I'm sorting it out. Okay, one more move to go. So that will be, let me think about it. Right foot is doing windscreen wipers and the left foot is pointing and flexing, right? So one's going diagonally, one's going front and back. That's a little bit, whoops, no, I was just about to say it's a bit easier to deal with. And as I said that, I wasn't able to do it. Okay, I think I've got that one. And then finally, left foot windscreen wiper, right foot point and flex. That's it, yeah. All right, I would say possibly the easiest. That's what I think. Anyway, right, great. Take a moment there, just sort of let everything go, wherever you are, whether you're sitting, whether you're lying down. Maybe close your eyes for a moment, just check in. Right, your feet and ankles are just done quite a lot of work. How do they feel? How does your whole body feel? How is your breathing? I thought we were going to do way more today, but that seems to have gone really, really quickly. I think we have done a lot of stuff with our feet, however. So I am going to leave it there because, like I said, simple moves, they can be quite intense. I'm going to just come on back and I don't know why my mouse isn't working anymore. Pop myself back in a view where we can see everybody and then open up to questions or comments, or how do you feel? Did you feel that that was something that worked well for you? like I said, I thought I was going to do way more different exercises, but I didn't get around to it. But I think that was quite a lot anyway. Feet and ankles feel really good. Thank you, Millie. I'm glad to hear that. That's fantastic. Does anyone else like to?
I'd like to comment.
Yes,
I
Barbara.
have neuropathy in my feet, and I have a real hard time with the balls of my feet, even feeling them. And sometimes my feet keep me up at night. But boy, I'll tell you, those exercises, especially the ones with the balls, really, I could see a difference.
Oh, fantastic.
I'm going to do that every day.
Great to hear. Yeah, good to hear. Yeah, you can't go wrong doing that, I don't think.
We have an exercise to loosen the ankle, not the calf, but just because my ankles are very tight.
Yeah. So all of that is going to assist your ankle. So especially the ones that we just said at the end there, your point and flex and your circles and your side to side, they're all ankle based exercises. So yeah, all of that would be
all of that. Okay. My feet feel great.
Okay, fantastic. Thanks for the feedback, Barbara. That's great.
Sure. Thank you.
All right.
Good.
What you're describing is not evidence.
Someone's got their TV on in the background. Marlene, was that just good? That was not just good. That's all right. I don't like to use that word. Thank you for that. Excellent. Yeah.
It's quite a workout. Yeah. So I'm watching TV and you're looking at you at the same time. Forgot to turn down my volume. Sorry. But yeah, that's quite a workout. Yeah, it's great. And it makes any type of exercise really gets me unsteady until I can, keep working at it. Yeah, it takes a lot to get all those kinks out. And I know I'm tense, but it's going to take time for that to work its way out.
Yeah, great. And that can have an effect on the whole body as well. It's not just your feet and ankles, it's your entire body. So yeah, great. Thanks.
I feel I'm falling all over the place when I'm doing these exercises. So I know I'm unstable, but that's the way it is until I can keep doing it and then strengthen my body out. But thank you.
All right, excellent. Thank you, Marlene. And for Mina, I found it very helpful as I have aching feet, mostly on the ball of my foot. Yeah. Very, very common. Yeah, that comes from John's just reposted that. So yes, Mina, thank you. All right. Continue. Just keep doing it.
I almost forgot that I bought some grass mats, like for the tub. I bought some grass mats to use them as rugs, and boy, does that feel comfortable and massage my feet.
Wow, good idea. Yeah, excellent idea. Different stimulation, right? It's different stimulation that we want under our feet. So if you can get different textures to walk on, right? Who doesn't? Right, we all walk around on these hard, flat surfaces all day, and our feet were designed to walk on texture. So if you can find different things to walk on, like pebbles. One of my clients, she's in her 80s, and she has pebbles all around her house. It's brilliant. So I've set her the homework task of walking one day in bare feet. She can't do it in bare feet now. She's starting with her slippers on because that's what she can do. And then eventually we'll move to socks and then bare feet walking around on pebbles. So, we're looking for different texture. Right? She's really lucky. She's got fences and walls right next to her that she can hold on to while she's doing that. But, yeah, if you can find something like that, that's great. My local park has wood chips around the trees. So I try and encourage our local people to walk on those wood chips, again, for the different texture and that stimulation to wake up your feet just when you're walking around. All right. So I'm just going to share my screen again. So for my final slide. So let me just get onto those now. All righty. And how do I do that? Oops, there we go. So thank you from me. Thank you from GetSetUp for joining us. If you're on social media, we'd love it if you would share your positive experiences by using the hashtag GetSetUp or at GetSetUp, or you could even write to the lovely Liz at getsetup.io, who likes to blog about our great experiences within the classes that we're doing here, not just mine, all of them. All right, so my next class will be tomorrow. It is called Core and Stretch, and it will be actually a couple of hours later than this one. So if you're up to it and you're up to doing one later on in the evening for you, that's a great one to do, sort of focusing on a lot of stuff with the belly and moving the whole body. I also have a supple spine class the following day. All right, so what we like to do, again, I'll just send you a brief note after class that just will give you some suggestions of other classes to do. We'll also ask you for your feedback, and that feedback is set at a 4-star review. Feel free to add an extra star if you really enjoyed it, or if you're taking a star or 2 away, please put a comment on why. Really happy to work with you. If you have suggestions for things that you'd like to do, or something that I haven't incorporated in, things that you're thinking about and you'd like me to do them, please drop us a line. Let us know about it. It's also more fun to do it with a friend. We like to get the word of GetSetUp out there. You're getting hopefully some benefit out of these classes. So if you can share that with a friend or 2, you're prompted to do that when you book into your class. There's a little invite a friend button. So on the desktop and also on your mobile device, just click on that and you'll get a link to send to a friend. Like I said, it's more fun. You can wave at each other while you're there. And then finally, if you have any ideas for new classes, you can suggest them. You can share this with your organization. If you're a member of any organization that might be interested in GetSetUp, you could also host an interest group if you feel like being on this side of the camera and if you like talking. So have I got you on me in the way there? Finally, yes, you can, I can't even talk, request a session recording. And to do all of that, the best thing to do would be to email help@getsetup.io. For any questions, any advice that you might like, send us an email. All right, so if you need any further assistance, please just stay online and we can help you out with that. But that's it from me. I'm about out of time. Are there any final comments or anything anyone would like to mention? No? All right, well, I can see you smiling. That's always a good start. So thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for joining me again. For those of you who've been with me before, for the first time, if you're new here, thank you so much. I really appreciate you, and have a wonderful rest of your day. And I hope to see you again soon. All right, thanks.
Bye.
Take care. All right, till next time.
Bye. Bye.